Yeah, man. I mean, we've always had, great relationships with lenders, and there's always kind of a mindset of some people have like multiple lenders that they recommend. I liked having one person that I went to that went to bat and had the best products and that could provide the best client experience. And really, you want to strengthen that relationship so much so that they would do anything for you and your business because it's a win-win. Everybody wins. The consumer wins, you win. Your lender wins. So yeah, I think the best agents have great relationships with the best lenders. It's one of the value propositions that you have as an agent is knowing where to go to get the best financing, the best overall deal. And it's not just as agents. I think a lot of people must think that real estate agents don't do a lot, but I mean the difference a great agent and lender partnership can make in a real estate transaction over the lifetime of owning a property is significant. And so, I feel like the best agents already get that. They have those relationships and they help to provide the best advice to their clients and create that lifelong relationship where people are coming back to you. I mean, I'm curious to, what's the formula for interest rate and refinance? So like, the last, 18 months, maybe, rates were considerably higher. If they start to drop down, is it 1%? Is that the general rule of thumb? Or do you take the closing cost, divide that by, whatever the monthly savings are and determine if it's refinance or not? And how many agents do you have that actually are helping make, reaching out to their past clients and reconnecting them for those refinance opportunities? Or when do you see that coming?
That's great. I mean, that's my top LOs. That's why they're the top. They have that kind of strength, that kind of partnership with their agents, where their agents help them get refinance business, which really, has no benefit to the agent in that moment, other than continuing to provide a service for their client who should be their client forever, right? I don't do magic formulas because every consumer is different. I mean, I used to have a call center back in the day. I used to refinance people before Christmas just so they could skip December's payment so they could give their family at Christmas. Right. And it was a terrible financial decision, like on paper, but everybody's situation was unique. They needed to do that because they wanted to provide that for their family. And there's like shortening the terms. So not only are I'm a big proponent of never take people out to a 30 unless they have a monthly budget situation, to where not only can we lower your rate, maybe it's only 0.5%, but if you take them from a 30 year to a 25 or to a 20, you're going to save them, depending on the loan amount, hundreds of thousands of dollars just by shortening the term and a bigger chunk of the payment going towards so to me, every single person is always eligible. There's always a way, but that's that call center nature in me, always trying to capture that business, trying to find a way to grow my business and build that relationship with the customer. But industry-wide rule of thumb is probably 1%. And I would say it's longer than 18 months. I would say over the last 24 months, I know I have 17,000 purchase transactions I've done in the last couple of years that are eligible to refinance.
Wow.
We're this close. And so I'm trying to figure out, okay, so I'm in Columbus now. I got two guys here. One guy used to run a big call center, and I have this unique situation of all of my LOs want to refinance that transaction because it's all relationship based. They did the purchase, but they're too busy to take the time to actually be efficient with it. They don't think that, but I know that, right? But we're competing against the better.coms and the Rockets, where their technology, and they have all these, people in a call center where they're going to call that customer and offer them a really good deal. We have an advantage because we have a relationship, but if we're not calling them first, then now we're in the disadvantage. So I rolled out a couple of years ago that you get to, if you do a purchase with me, I'll refinance it with no lender fees, which I think is going to pay huge dividends now because again, I would like to capture, and maybe I'm being a little bit too optimistic, but I think we can capture 70% of all the purchases we've done. And that's a big, big initiative. But the one thing I tell everybody, especially my realtor partners, is during the last boom, during 2020 and 2021, I always prioritize purchase because it's relationship based, it's time sensitive, it's a contract, and it's very easy to chase that low hanging fruit. So we'll do the refinances and we'll make a lot of money from it, but I'm going to put a 45 to 60 day expectation turn time on it. And setting that expectation with commission employees is important. But my purchases will still be 15 days. I'm going to put all my top resources on the purchases. I'm going to continue to cater to my realtor referral partners because without you guys referring me business, I have zero value, right?
Right.
I mean, these refinances, you have no control over. You can't control when rates drop. You can control how you work them when you're in that position. But for the most part, with the amount of business that I do, everything I do is to service the person referring the business and to give the customer the best experience. That way they go back to everybody and we get a good review, and then they tell their friends, and it's just normal referral-based business.